right, let's talk about the US and Iran. When you hear those two names, you probably think of military power. But this is so much more than just counting tanks and planes. We're really looking at two totally different philosophies of power. On one side, you've got global dominance, and on the other, defiant resistance.
I mean, just think about that for a second. When the most powerful military in human history moves even one aircraft carrier, the entire Middle East holds its breath. Wow, that really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? It's not about the ship itself, it's about what that ship represents. A force so huge that even its smallest movements can make an entire region just stop and watch. So, let's be really clear here. This is not a matchup between two equal teams, not even close. It's a fundamental clash between two completely different ideas, American dominance versus Iranian resistance. And if you can get your head around that one concept, you're going to understand everything else we're about to cover.
Okay, so let's start with the first piece of that puzzle, American dominance. What does that actually look like? Well, it's way more than just having the most hardware. It's a whole global system, a machine designed for projecting power everywhere. And let's talk about the money for a second, because the numbers are just mind-blowing. The US spends more on its military than the next 10 countries combined. Think about that. And this isn't just about buying more stuff. That money is the fuel for a technological and logistical engine that literally no one else on the planet can even come close to building. So what does all that money buy? It buys a system that operates everywhere all at once. We're talking about total control. The Navy basically owns the oceans. The Air Force owns the skies. From space, American satellites are watching everything. From the ground, they can strike anywhere. And that's not even counting the non-physical stuff, like crippling an entire economy or launching devastating cyber attacks. It's the power to fight anywhere, anytime, in every single domain you can imagine. Okay, so if you're Iran, you're looking at all of that, and what do? How do you even begin to stand up to a force like that? Well, the answer is you don't. You don't play their game. You change the rules. Iran has built its entire strategy around something called asymmetry, which is basically a playbook for how a smaller power can fight back against a giant. And this right here is the core of their entire military philosophy. It's called asymmetric doctrine. They know for a fact they can't win a straight-up fight with the United States. So the goal isn't victory. The goal is to make any attack so painful, so bloody, and so expensive for the US that Washington eventually decides, you know what, this just isn't worth it. Think of it like deterrence by 1,000 cuts. So how do they plan on delivering those 1,000 cuts? Well, they've got a specific toolkit for it. They've got ballistic missiles that can reach US bases all over the region. They have swarms of cheap but effective drones, and in the water, they have fleets of small, fast attack boats and sea mines ready to shut down one of the world's most critical oil choke points. Every single one of these isn't designed to win a war, but to make the cost of starting one incredibly high. But just as important is what Iran doesn't have. Look at this list. No aircraft carriers to project power across the globe. No advanced stealth bombers to hit targets deep inside another country. No global network of military bases. No dominance in space. You see the pattern here? This is not the arsenal of a global superpower. This is the toolkit of a regional power focused purely on defense and resistance. All right, so we've seen the two sides, but what would happen if things actually kicked off? If this cold standoff suddenly went hot? Let's walk through what the first few hours of a modern conflict would actually look like. And spoiler alert, it would be nothing like the wars you've seen in movies. We're talking fast, surgical, and intensely technological. The opening salvo wouldn't be a bomb or a missile. The first move would be to take away Iran's ability to see and talk. Step 1. Signals go dark. Communications, GPS, satellites, all jammed. Step 2. Radars go blind. Air defense systems are taken out before they even know something is coming. And only then, once the opponent is deaf and blind, do the physical strikes begin. Stealth aircraft and cruise missiles hitting command centers. See, the goal isn't just to attack, it's to paralyze the entire system. Now, this is the really critical takeaway. Does this mean Iran can't fight back? No, of course not. They can respond. They can launch their missiles, they can cause real damage and chaos. But, and this is the big but, the United States controls the ladder of escalation. America gets to decide how far this goes, where the next punch is thrown, and how hard it lands. And that, right there, is the very definition of dominance.
And because a full-on war would be absolutely catastrophic for everyone involved, the real battlefield isn't a physical place. The real fight is happening every single day, right now. It's a relentless, simmering conflict fought with economic sanctions, strategic chess moves, and ultimately it's a test of patience and political will. So when you boil it all down, you're left with this, a clash of two totally different kinds of strength. For Iran, its strength is endurance, the ability to just take a punch, to withstand decades of sanctions and immense pressure, and keep on going. For America, its strength is dominance, the raw power to bend the entire global system to its will. So, in the end, this whole situation is way more than just another regional rivalry. It's a case study. It's a living, breathing example of how power actually works in our world today. And it's a powerful reminder that this isn't a clash of equals. And in this new, asymmetric world, the very rules of conflict are being rewritten right before our eyes.